Hello, and welcome back to the art room, my first grade friends. All right, today's lesson we're going to be talking about Mr. Kandinsky. All right, we're going to be working a little bit with our lines and shapes. So last art class, all right, our dinosaur lesson, all right, we combined shapes together and made dinosaurs, right? By putting those shapes together, we learned that there are organic and geometric shapes. The geometric shapes are That's right, like the circle, the triangle, the square, the rectangle. The organic shapes are, that's right, they're kind of like blobs, right? So like clouds are organic shapes, leaves are organic shapes. They're not the shapes that we learned in school. They're a little bit more like blobs. All right, so we've learned that one of your art SOLs, Standards of Learning for Virginia, now states that you need to be practicing using different kinds of lines. So I thought, what better way for us to practice using our shapes and our lines, right, than learning about Mr. Kandinsky. Mr. Kandinsky was a famous Russian painter, right, and he was really amazing. He made a lot of artwork using just lines and shapes. So you know how last art class when we did our dinosaurs, we made them by putting shapes together, okay, to build a dinosaur. Well, he would put his lines and shapes together but wouldn't be trying to build anything. So he wasn't trying to make a dinosaur or trying to make anything really out of them, and I'll show you what I mean. So this is one of his paintings. As you can see, it's just lines and shapes. Did you know that you can make beautiful works of art that aren't showing anything? They're just showing lines and shapes. It's not like you're trying to look at an object or an animal or a person. It's just lines and shapes, and they're beautiful. So Mr. Kandinsky would make these beautiful works of art, right? And he was amazing because he would also listen to music while he did this, all right? And this is the really cool part about it, okay? So he would listen to, and I think what I read is he would normally be listening to classical music, but he would be listening to music, and if he heard a sound that was really loud, he would make a shape or a color or a line, right, that he felt was really loud. So, maybe he heard a really loud trumpet in the song. Maybe it was like, that's my trumpet sound. Sorry, it's not very good. All right, but maybe he heard a very loud trumpet, and he would say, oh, okay, so he would make a really big triangle that was yellow because he thought yellow was a loud color. That's kind of how he was thinking, oh, I'm going to turn what I'm hearing into something that people can look at. So I'm going to make it different colors, different lines, different shapes that I feel like go with the music I'm listening to, which is pretty cool. So here's some different paintings that he's done with lines and shapes and colors. I love them. This one looks like a party on the paper. I love it. All these lines and shapes and colors. Yeah. He really liked squares, circles, and triangles, and he thought they had different kind of feelings attached to them. So he thought that triangles were kind of really loud and aggressive, and he thought that circles made people think about like big thoughts and ideas, and he thought that squares were very calming, that people felt very calm about squares, right? Here's another picture of a painting that Mr. Kandinsky made. So today you might be wondering, Mrs. O'Neill, what are we going to make? We're going to make a picture step by step together. We're going to make a picture using our lines and our shapes. And as you can see, we've used both organic and geometric shapes, right? And I'm using all sorts of different lines that we're going to go with together, okay? So let's get started. I went ahead and put on my board, I put a large paper. I'm going to be using markers. Whatever you have at home that you've been using to color in with, use that. If you've got crayons, colored pencils, paint, whatever you've been using, use that for this. You can adapt this to anything. But I'm going to go ahead and use markers. How I normally do this is I would tell you to pick a color. So I'm going to pick a color to get started. All right? And I'm going to draw a straight line from this corner down to this corner. Just a straight line going from one corner to the next. All right, I'm going to put the cat back on my marker and change colors. All right, next one. Pick a new color. So go ahead and pick a new color. All right, start from this corner to this corner, and I'm going to do a zigzag line. So that's going up, down, and I'm making sure that I'm making it kind of pointy. Up, down, and that's a zigzag line. Put the cap on the marker, pick a new color. On this one, I'm going to do a wavy line. So a wavy line, I'm going to go across this way, and it's almost like the zigzag line, but instead of going to a point, I'm just going to go kind of wavy. Oh, look at that. So it's not going to a point, it's kind of round. So practice doing that one. Practice your wavy line. Beautiful. All right, put the cap on your marker. Put that one back. Get a new color. All right. Next, we're going to do the dotted line or the dash line, okay? So the dash line is, if I start here, I'm going to draw some dashes going up all the way to the top of the paper. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and do that again over here. Dashes all the way to the side of the paper. Beautiful. All right. Next, this is my favorite one. We're going to be doing the spiral. So pick a different color. New color. All right. Start on your paper in the center, and I'm going to go around, 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 and make a spiral. Let's do that again. Around, around, around. That takes some practice. Just practice it a few times. You got it. Around, around, around. Yes. Some different spirals. All right. Now it's time to draw some shapes. Okay, so get a new color. I'm going to have to start, I ran out of colors, so I'm going to have to start reusing some different colors. That's okay. All right, I'm going to start by drawing a triangle. So to do the triangle, I'm going to pick an empty spot. I'm going to go up, down, across, up, down, across, up, down, across. And then I'm going to color them in. All right. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add some circles. I'm going to get a new color. Let's see. What do I got here? I'm going to use some yellow for this. And I'm going to draw some circles. Pick a spot, draw a circle, color it in. You might even decide that you want to draw some circles connected to each other. So to do that, what I would do, circles connected to circles. And then I'll go ahead and color that in. Awesome. All right, the last geometric shape that I'm going to use, I'm going to go ahead and make some squares. I'm going to make some purple squares. What do you think? All right, I'm going to draw some purple squares. So to draw a square, I'm just going down, across, up, across. Down, across, up, across. And I'm going to color them in. And you can do these different sizes. That's totally fine. You can do small ones, big ones. And go ahead and make some boxes, some squares, nice geometric shapes. All right, my next shapes that I'm going to be doing, the next ones, I'm going to make some organic shapes. And you remember, of course, that the organic shapes are kind of like blobs. So to do that, yeah, get a new color. I'm going to do black so you can kind of see it a little bit better from back there. All right, so I'm going to draw some blobs. So I'm going to pick a spot on my paper and draw some blobs and then color those in. All right, I'm going to color these in. We're almost there. You're doing a great job. I'm proud of you. Color in those blobs. All right, now I want you to put on a song, any song you want. Put on a song and listen to it, and while you're listening to it, add anything else to your picture, all right, that goes with the music you're listening to, just like Mr. Kandinsky would. If you hear a sound and you're like, oh, that sound kind of sounds like a spiral to me, add another spiral. If you're listening to the music and it sounds really soft and it sounds like a dashed line, add a little dashed line to it. Maybe you hear something, it gets really fast and it sounds like a big blob to you. Include a big blob. So add a couple elements from whatever song you're listening to. Pause my video all right, while you do that, and then unpause it when you're done. Okay, so when you're done listening to the song and you've added all the extra things, unpause my video, all right, and then I'm going to show you how to color in that background nice and pretty, okay? So go ahead and pause the video. And you're back. I'm so glad you're back. I hope you had fun listening to your music and adding some extra lines and shapes to your picture while you were listening to your song. All right. Now that the song is ended, we're going to go ahead and add the background to our picture. So as you can see, because I used markers to do all the lines and shapes, I decided to color in with crayon. That's really up to you. That's one of those you get to make a choice on that based on whatever you've got at home. So use whatever you've got at home, but I'm going to go ahead and use crayons to kind of color in the different spaces in my background. As you can see, the lines and shapes that I've added, the lines especially have kind of created these different sections, right? Different spaces in my artwork. See that? And I colored them in with different colors. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pick different colors with whatever you're using to color in. And then I'm going to color my background in using these different colors. So maybe I put some blue here. I just think this is a way that makes it look a lot prettier than, you know, if I was just to color everything in one color. So I'm going to color this in. There we go. So different sections would be different colors. So I can see that my wavy line's kind of cutting through here, so this is a different color than this one is. And I'll go ahead and color that in. All right. I'm going to move to a different space. I'm going to move up here now, do a different color. And see, that just makes it look so much cooler than if I did everything the same color. I can see things a little bit better now that some parts are a different color. And they're kind of popping out. I like that. So I'm going to color this space in. Instead of having you sit here and watch me color the whole thing in, I'm going to go ahead and stop here, all right? And then I'm going to come back to you when it's all done, okay? And we're back. Okay, so I finished coloring in. I used my crayons and colored in all of my picture. And like I said, I did each section where the lines cut into different parts, right? I did them each with different colors to kind of make that pop. Right? So go ahead and do that. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson on Mr. Kandinsky and his line and shape art. And I'm so proud of you for using your different lines and shapes in your artwork today. All right, thank you, and I'll see you next week. Don't forget, if you want to turn this one in, all right, take a picture of it and then upload it. You can upload it to Seesaw. You could send it to my email address, or you could send it to me through Remind. That would work too. But don't forget to, if you want this to be one of your 3 projects that's done by October the 15th for a grade for the first 9 weeks. That's for my school where the tiger is the mascot. So if you're at the school where the tiger is the mascot and you want this to count as one of your 3 projects, turn that picture in to me before October the 15th. All right, bye. I'll see you next week, friends.